As soon as Halloween rolls around each year, everyone always focuses on the same thing: the scary, the supernatural, and the downright spooky. But the 31st of October is special for more than just ghosts and goblins. It's a strange day filled with historical events, strange coincidences, and stories that are sometimes hard to believe. Here are 7 of those things that happen during Halloween. Welcome to Brilliant Thinking. Intrigue your mind. Click that subscribe button before we get started and you'll never miss out on another amazing video. Number 1. The Big Cat Played. Equality and racial tolerance came slow last century, but years before the civil rights movement, professional sports were the first to show some progressiveness. On October 31st, 1950, Earl Lloyd, aka the Big Cat, became the first African American to play in the NBA, stepping out into the court for the Washington Capitals. You better believe this was controversial for the time, and if it wasn't for his spectacular performance, his time in the spotlight might have been cut short. Lloyd would go on to play a further 8 seasons in the NBA with the Syracuse Nationals and the Detroit Pistons. Number 2. The Last Judgment, 1541. It was on this day, October 31st, 1541, that high Renaissance artist Michelangelo unveiled the Last Judgment painting at the Sistine Chapel, which depicted the second coming of Christ and the final eternal judgment by God on humanity. Michelangelo had spent more than 4 years hand-painting this exquisite fresco, and by the time he was finished, he was almost 67 years old. He'd already painted the iconic ceiling some 25 years earlier. This was just a late retirement gift to the Pope. Number 3. The Spanish flu canceled Halloween. I know we're probably sick of hearing about pandemics, but in 1918, the Spanish flu was running rampant across the globe. October marked the deadliest month for the virus in the United States, with the nation recording 21,000 deaths in just 7 days. This triggered various cities to cancel Halloween celebrations altogether on October 31st. With poorer hygiene standards and limited treatments against novel influenza viruses, the Spanish flu did severe damage across the globe, particularly to those under the age of 40. The Spanish flu would go on to claim an estimated 50 million lives worldwide before it petered out in the early 1920s with weaker dominant strains. Number 4. R.I.P. Harry Houdini. The legendary magician and escape artist Harry Houdini would tragically pass away on October 31st, 1926, from peritonitis, or septic inflammation of the abdominal lining. 9 days earlier, the famed showman was sitting in a chair in his dressing room at the Princess Theatre in Montreal. Harry had broken his ankle in a performance a few days earlier, and so was in no rush to get up when a group of students struck up a conversation with him. One student, Jocelyn Gordon Whitehead, was interested to see if Houdini could take a punch to the stomach. Harry casually remarked that his stomach could take a lot before Jocelyn delivered 3 or 4 short, hard punches to his abdomen. Despite being in incredible pain over the next few days and being diagnosed with acute appendicitis, Harry Houdini kept his routine theater performances every night. He refused the appendix surgery that would likely have saved his life and continued performing. In fact, in his final performance, he actually fainted and had to be revived backstage to finish the show. By the time he was rushed to hospital for an emergency appendectomy, it was already too late. His appendix had burst, and the infection in his appendix was way too severe. Number 5. Knock Knock. Even though a lot of people are trick-or-treating on this day, October 31st is actually National Knock Knock Day. This type of slapstick joke was invented in the 1920s and has survived over 100 years. People are encouraged to commemorate the day by telling their favorite knock-knock joke. Knock knock. Who's there? Orange. Orange who? Orange, you glad it's Halloween. Number 6. Mount Rushmore completed. Kinda. After 14 rock-breaking years, the Mount Rushmore sculpture in South Dakota, USA is finally completed on the 31st of October, 1941. Headed up by sculptor Gutzon Borglum and utilizing a team of over 400 stonemasons, the spectacular granite monolith was carved straight into the mountainside. Constructed to commemorate the first 150 years of American history, the Mount Rushmore sculpture features the likeness of 4 American presidents: George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and Theodore Roosevelt. Although, full disclaimer, the Mount Rushmore sculpture isn't 100% finished. The original design actually included a likeness all the way down to the waist. Unfortunately, the main sculptor Gutzon Borglum passed away before finishing his full vision. Number 7. One-Armed. On the morning of October 31st, 2003, 13-year-old Bethany Hamilton went out for a surf on Tunnel Beach in Hawaii. As she laid on her board, dangling her arm in the water, a 14-foot tiger shark swam up from underneath and in one bite ripped her arm clean off. Adrenaline, blood loss, and shock meant that Bethany hardly felt a thing, but luckily her friends were able to get her to the hospital in time for surgeons to save her life. These days, Bethany is a renowned American surfer and writer, having returned to surfing just 26 days after the attack, after teaching herself to surf one-armed. But she'll always be reminded of her Halloween swim gone wrong. And that's all we have time for in today's video. See, not everything has to be about witches, wizards, and way too much candy. Do you know of any Halloween historical events? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please leave us a like. And if you're not already subscribed, hit that red button and notification bell to be a part of the fun. Thanks for tuning in. You're watching Brilliant Thinking. Intrigue your mind. And I'll see you next time.